Saya nak tanya sikit boleh? Keris moden sekarang pakai besi macam besi baja. Kalau keris lama kebanyakan pakai miang kan? Besi miang tu apa sebenarnya?
Okay, hi guys, it's been a while since I last uploaded any video content to this channel. My sincerest apologies for the long hiatus. I have been occupied with various other matters ranging from my businesses to concentrating on my ibadah in Ramadan and of course not forgetting the celebrations of Shawwal. Thank you to those of you who have looked me up privately. I am touched by your concerns. I am still alive and well, and still very much active in my advocacy of sharing useful related information to the Keris material culture. I will kick off today's video with this question from this lady. Now, for the benefit of non-native Malay speakers, here is a rough translation to this question. Basically, what this lady is asking is, from her understanding, the modern keris are made from besi baja, whereas older keris examples were made from besi miang. She proceeds to ask for clarification of what exactly is besi miang. Now, this is a very good question. Reference to my earlier videos on keris pamur and the meteoric origins of iron, I did mention that a keris blade is produced from a seemingly complex method of preparing the core billet. Undergoing various processes of refinement and strengthening, the techniques, the processes, and the formulation are a closely guarded and well-kept secret by the empus or the pandai besis. I would also like to correct the misconception from this question. This statement that modern kerises uses besi baja and older kerises doesn't is not entirely accurate. Besi baja has been around for as long as the keris has been documented. Even the empus from Java have documented as such in their written records kept in their kratons as far back as the 1600s. The keris is interesting because unlike the numerous far-fetched theories and hypotheses by observers from the West, the keris from Nusantara evolved uniquely over time in this region on par with technological advancement in metallurgy and metallography of their time, and in relation to the abundance of natural iron-rich resources. Now, from the line of questioning, I am going to assume that this lady is from the Peninsular Malay region. The term besi miang is commonly used here as compared to our neighboring Indonesian brothers and sisters. The Javanese, the Bugis, the Balinese, and so on may have their own defining terms for this. But, for the sake of clarity, I will explain from the Peninsular Malay worldview. When it comes to the production of keris blades, the production methods varies from place to place. Different regions have different methods adopted as a standard when it comes to producing keris blades. The Peninsular Malay region is no different. There are many written references documented over time, but I would like to focus on one fairly recent written work by Brother Ahmad Zamli from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. A very well-respected figure within the keris collecting community here. A retired civil servant, a silat guru, and a very experienced senior in the art of the keris and collecting. He published his magnum opus in 2019, a very important book in my opinion, titled Keris Melayu Pusaka Bangsa, detailing a lifetime's worth of experience and observations of kerises and weapons from the Peninsular Malay regions. For the first time, scattered information and notes are compiled into one reference book. In this book, it is mentioned that aside from a typical keris blade with pamur, which is produced by layers of various metal types layered onto each other and welded tightly together through heat, folds, and hammering, there are several other production standards that are preferred over a blade produced with pamur. Generally, this production method is referred to as the Keris Besi Sebatang, a keris blade made from just one type of metal. Within this category of blade type, it is split into another 4 subcategories. We have the Keris Besi Tarung, Keris Besi Bari, Keris Besi Retak, and last but not least, Keris Besi Miang. For now, it cannot yet be conclusively decided if these 4 subcategories of Keris Besi Sebatang are the only types favoured here in the Peninsular Malay regions. From a qualitative observation on known antique examples, be it found natively or brought back from collections previously transferred outside of the Peninsular Malay regions, these 4 subcategories are the most common classifications observed and discovered. Keris Besi Tarung are usually favoured in keris blades that are specifically meant to be used in a skirmish, a battlefield blade sort of, preferred for its strength, durability, and non-reflective nature. These blades are usually in the darker shade of grey or black, and their surface feels smooth to the touch. Keris Besi Bari usually refers to keris blades that feels rough to the touch, with patterns resembling tiny pinhead holes on the surface of the blades. These are either formed naturally upon production, and there are those that shows up years after continuous ritual cleansing with acidic juices. Keris Besi Retak usually refers to blades with surfaces that appears to have cracked. Now, do not be too quick to assume that the production process was flawed, but it is a known skill by master pandai besis who are at their peak of their field, who understands how to manipulate the billet in the forge to make it appear as if it has cracked, but at the same time did not compromise on the tensile strength of the blade being produced. It is still usable in a skirmish if required. Now, there are many hypotheses as to why this is done as such, but I will save that for a separate video. Keris Besi Miang usually refers to fine hair-like cuticles resembling that of those found on bamboo. On such a keris blade, these cuticles can be seen in slivers of shimmering yellowish gold to nickel white. Miang emas if it is yellowish, and miang perak if it is silverish. This may be the result of impurities contained from within the source raw materials that was used to produce the single core billet, which is the Besi Sebatang. Recently, I added a beautiful Peninsular Malay batik into my collection, which I won from an auction held in Italy last December. Be sure to check that video out to see for yourself how intricate the pamur was planned and executed to produce a very rare masterpiece. I'll see you there.